You need to hear this if you're a business owner or an investor. Discover how Teamviewer is transforming the way we work and connect. Launched in 2005, Teamviewer has become a global tech giant, empowering over 2.5 billion devices around the world. From small businesses to large enterprises, more than 630,000 business customers trust Teamviewer for its secure and versatile remote connectivity solutions. With support for multiple operating systems and over 30 languages, Teamviewer is truly universal. It's all about breaking barriers. Whether it's remote access, high-def video conferencing, or augmented reality support, Teamviewer's got you covered. What sets Teamviewer apart? It's their focus on security with end-to-end encryption, their innovative features like AI-driven session insights, and their dedication to customer-centric solutions for industries like IT, healthcare, and education. In a world where remote work is booming, Teamviewer is leading the charge in digital transformation. So why just connect when you can unlock new potential? Teamviewer. Connect to what matters.
In today's video, I will talk about a German company called Teamviewer. I think the investment case was super compelling before the company announced last December the acquisition of a London-based IT firm, 1E. Even in my books, the acquisition price, it was crazy high, 40 times EBITDA. Well, the owners of 1E, they must be licking their fingers. I think the investment case is still appealing, and I will tell you why. By the way, if you don't know me before, my name is Arimatti Alhanko, and I'm the founder of StockBrain 24/7. Previously, I worked as a portfolio manager and as an analyst in Switzerland, Luxembourg, Sweden and Finland. This channel, it's about investing, stocks and money, and about a guy who thinks stocks while being in the shower on average 4 to 5 minutes a day, or while taking his more than 10,000 steps a day, or even while playing with his 3 kids. It would also be super cool if you would subscribe for the channel and even hit the like button below the video. I have heard that the algorithms, they like it, and we can make the channel even bigger and better. Thank you. What does Teamviewer do? I believe you got a sense of it in the introductory video, where I actually got some help from the AI. But the core offering is to provide remote connectivity. They try to connect everything that is out there. Every device, every operating system, people across the globe, anytime with high reliability. You can see in a few pictures here on what they actually connect to. You have vehicles, household appliances, escalators, elevators, turbines, medical equipment, computers, mobile devices, you name it. There's connected devices and connectivity everywhere in today's companies and in today's world, and the company allows for all of this. Now there's connectivity everywhere. But how does the company try to match these different use cases with their product offering? You can see in the picture 3 different buckets. So we have a light blue box on the left, which you can call the traditional Teamviewer, where the company is coming from, which they call immediate remote support tools. You can actually download the software, it's for free. Let's say that your mom or dad has a problem with the PC. If they have the Teamviewer installed and you have as well, you can help them remotely. So you can install the program, use the program, and see how you can make the best use of it in your own environment, and then maybe later see where you move from there. In the middle, you have the dark blue box. This is called enterprise connectivity. It's basically the light blue solutions on the left, but with a lot of advanced features. For example, high level of security, all kinds of software integrations, and all kinds of features that large enterprises need. And then the last, on the right, is the workflow optimization. Augmented reality stuff, for example. But let's take a closer look at 2 concrete use cases. And let's start with Specsavers. Probably you know the company. It's the largest privately owned optical group in the world. Their IT team uses Teamviewer Tensor, so the dark blue box solution that was in the middle. The IT team uses it to provide support to its 32,500 employees across 2,300 stores in 10 countries. By using Teamviewer, Specsavers can connect and fix issues with any issues with the PCs in stores as well as medical devices. So they can remotely connect to the stores and help the employees that are located in the stores. Or another example, it's actually a really cool one. I didn't know about this before I started to study Teamviewer a couple of years ago. It's related to Teamviewer's augmented reality. There's a company that is running a warehouse and the spare part operation for their client Samsung. The company implemented in their warehouse vision picking with picking classes supported by frontline solution from Teamviewer. Pretty much all the employees in the warehouse are using Teamviewer's technology while picking different items. So you put the Teamviewer classes on and the device show you exact the location where you must go and also the quantity of the materials that you have to pick. So for example here that you go to shelf XXX and you need to pick 5 items. The company implemented Teamviewer's vision picking solution in less than 4 weeks. Initially, the expectations were a productivity increase of somewhere between 15 and 20%, but after monitoring and getting the data, the productivity increased much more, somewhere between 25 and 30%. And of course, it's good for the environment as well. No need to print a lot of papers where it says where you need to go and how many quantities you need to pick. Just to remind everyone, this video is not investment advice. The content is only for educational and informational purposes. I may hold assets in the companies discussed in this video. Okay, that's about the company's products and some examples of use cases. Let's now turn into numbers and financials, as well look at the investment case more closely. When did the company IPO? That was in September 2019. And before the IPO, the company posted impressive growth figures. As you can see, in Q1 2019, revenue growth was at 84% and at 73% a quarter after. However, the growth rate slowed down quite drastically just after the IPO. The share went up because boosted by the COVID-19, but then took a dive after COVID-19 boom was over. But how did the company post so impressive growth figures just before the IPO? If you can remember, in the beginning of the video, it was mentioned that Teamviewer has an installed base of more than 2.5 billion devices. But a lot of free users. So the company started to pay more attention on the usage patterns, maybe just because the IPO was coming. Anyway, and if there was any doubt that somebody would use the account for commercial purposes without a license, the account would be shut down and there would be a prompt saying, "Hi, I think you are using this product commercially. Would you like to upgrade?" So that's why a lot of new subscribers and the revenue growth also picked up. But at the beginning, it was mostly small customers. At the end of 2019, the company had 463,000 SMB customers, so small and mid-sized enterprises, but only less than 700 large enterprise customers. Today, enterprise has become a key part of their business. It's really the key. Over the past 3 years, the number of enterprise customers have grown by 30% annually, and the SMB part only by 3%. And interestingly, large enterprise customers account for only 0.7% of total subscriber base, but 22% of group revenue. It tells about the big tickets you get from large Fortune 500 corporations if you are successful. Because of the importance of enterprise, the go-to-market strategy has changed too. Previously, it was trying to move customers from free to paid subscriptions. Today, the company have direct enterprise sales force. They have channel and strategic partners too. And as typically the complexity of use cases increases once you climb up the ladder, this also means that the subscriber churn is lower at the top end of the ladder. That's why if you have large enterprises, the churn is probably lower than for the SMB customers. So we know that going forward, enterprise will be the key. Of course, it will be nice if the SMB business will also grow. It's anyway 78% of the total business, but I would say the growth will be around 4 to 5% a year. You have the annual price increases of around 3% and top maybe some growth. But how is the company able to grow within the enterprise segment? There are three different factors. Number one, upsell from the SMB. Go after those enterprises that could qualify for the enterprise offerings. And historically, new enterprise customers, it's roughly 60% of them that have come from the SMB part of the business. Number two, get more brand awareness. This is the reason why the company made a partnership deal with football club Manchester United and Formula 1 team Mercedes a couple of years ago. And number three, get broader product offering. This was the idea behind the latest acquisition of 1E. Well, I mentioned in the video that I don't like it, but anyway, this was the idea behind it. So, to increase the product offering. Upselling from SMB to enterprise, that has been going well. That's positive. But how about the Manchester United deal? That's the reason I have the shirt on, if you didn't know before. The only thing is that I don't have the Teamviewer logo, but it's just a too old shirt. Anyway, it was a 5-year deal worth of £235 million. Yes, you get your logo on the shirt, like I have, and you get to talk with C-level executives. But it was a lot of money. Luckily, Teamviewer got out of the deal after 3 years with some small fine, I think it was high single-digit numbers, and Manchester United found another company who was willing to pay even more. Good luck for Qualcomm. And now again, a lot of money to be spent on the acquisition. $720 million for annual recurring revenue of 77 million, or roughly 40 times EBITDA. It's a lot. As I said in the beginning of the video, I think the investment case was super interesting before the acquisition. You were basically paying 13 times free cash flow for a business that was growing, or 8% free cash flow yield, and this was after lease payments and share-based compensation, and the trailing number, not any estimate. Sure, the growth rate was not there where it used to be, but you were basically paying a multiple similar to a business that was not growing. Today, after the acquisition will close, the company will have a much higher debt load. It will be around 3 times net debt to EBITDA, which is high, but of course it's a software business and it's a cash generative business. Maybe 3 years and the acquisition will be paid with the internal cash flow. But of course, now the risk is that they need to get the acquisition to work. The acquired company has been growing around 25% a year, and this growth, well, it really needs to continue. The management team talked a lot actually about the revenue synergies during the call in December, and if these synergies materialize, it's definitely an interesting investment case. It's just based on my experience, I like more actually the cost synergies than the revenue synergies. So to summarize briefly, we have a company that is the market leader in remote connectivity. On top of the core offering, the company has been able to continuously broaden the product offering, and the large enterprise segment has been growing nicely. The end of the Manchester United deal, well, it has already improved the margin profile, but the latest acquisition, it remains a big question mark. Going forward, 2 things need to happen. Number 1, the enterprise business, it needs to continue to grow. And number 2, the management team must show that the latest acquisition will create value for the shareholders. I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned more about Teamviewer, about the company's products and where the company stands today. In the next video, I will talk about an Italian car manufacturer, Ferrari. It will be super interesting. And you should definitely subscribe for the channel if you didn't already do it. Thank you.